Hello guys, here's a video about the subjugation um, and quantum beings basically. Okay, so the universe, right, is filled with conscious beings, quantum beings. We all are one being. We all came from one being, which is God, the subconscious being, right? And we all divided into these little beings that we are now, which is on Earth, right? But we have zodiac signs, and they show signs of who we are. So the signs of who we are in the universe out there, and we are a part of them. Now, my theory is that we are the stars, and the stars are us. We came from the stars, and so they affect us. But it can also be the other way around. It can be that we created the stars. It's like looking at us in the center of the universe, or looking at us as just somewhere in the universe. Now, that's why, like in the Bible, it says we are the center of the universe. What that means by when it says that we are the center of the universe is that everything that is in our minds that we think is actually just everything that's happening everywhere in the universe, because we're all one thing. And so, God created certain things in the universe as signs. He created prophecies and characters. There's the Antichrist, there's the hero, and stuff like that. There's the hero and then the antagonist. Now this comes into characteristics. And when you play a game like Monopoly or Dungeons and Dragons, everyone has to take a piece, choose a piece. And because we have to choose that piece, we have to assimilate the characteristics of those pieces. We have to, as for example, like an orchestra, if we play in the violin, we have to know how to play it. That's us. We're gonna learn the notes. We're gonna synchronize with every other instrument the way we're supposed to. We're gonna know how to be who we are. So let's say on a train, like I've noticed this, like for example on a train, is like if you're on a certain train, everyone assumes a certain role. There's people in three groups, in groups of three. There's people in groups of four, in groups of five, in groups of six. If you study each group, you notice that each person takes on a certain characteristics. One might be the leader, one might be the funny guy, one might be the tough guy. And this is what happens in all situations when it comes down to human beings and all different species. Different species take on different roles, and it's just like, hey, how come this one's bigger, stronger? How come this one is smarter? How come this one is a leader? How come this one's a mother? How come this one is a sister? This is what happens in life. So being that the case, this seems to be happening throughout the universe. And one of my theories about how the universe started, I said that God, in the beginning, he was alone, he was by himself, and so he created an opponent, which is probably the devil, or probably a girl, or probably a brother, whatever it was, and it was going to be the opposite to him, or it was going to have a certain personality, it was going to help him, and whatnot. He probably created the son first, or he created a female, and then had a child. He created, something to speak with, and then created a son who was going to help him create the universe. The story goes on, but the story is coming from our heads, but the story can be actually very similar, because let's say that the universe began. The universe was a tree, and then came all of these other little apples, and they had little seeds in them, and they have each apple had a certain character. What was God thinking at that moment when he created this stuff, So I'm pretty sure at some point, to create purpose, he said to himself, like, let me create different personalities. And out of these personalities came just different stars and whatnot. That's why in one of my edited videos I have called Proof of God or something like that. Yeah, it's called Proof of God. I wrote about how God created different personalities first, which are the angels, and they created stars, and basically they permeated down into our existence and help us create humans. Also, that can also allow the possibility for other multiverses where these gods can fuck with our lives in this world, in this consciousness, and then in another world say, you know, well, okay, that didn't work, or this is boring right now, so let me create a different universe where we affect it in this way and that way. And you know, our lives are always complicated by turmoil and you know, jeopardized by a bunch of things, and we wonder what the fuck is God thinking? Like, why the fuck is this happening? This is fucked up. Or it could just be that other gods are coming in. And I also used to call those gods the gods of drama. In 2012, I used to call that the gods of drama. And I noticed that my life and people's lives are constantly conflicted by bullshit every fucking day, and it's just like, it's annoying. I can't just have peace. There is no such thing as peace for me. I don't know if it's just me. Is it you? Who is it? Is it just me, really? Because my life is not peaceful. It's like there's always constant drama. And I call that the gods of drama. They're constantly afflicting us with drama. They can be a god of confidence, god of love, god of lust, desire, this, that, jealousy, etc., etc. You see, so they're just toying with our lives like a game, and we're being toyed around. And that's why I found God, the ultimate God, to be the truthful God, whereas it's like He's watching it. And I don't know how I learned it, but somewhere along the lines I saw that there was a saying said that God created us to show the angels and the demons and whatever, the other gods supposedly, the consequences between good and disobedience. So we're just like free floating, and there's gonna be reward from us from God, by because He's the ultimate player at the end of the day. He's the ultimate one that pulls the strings or decides what will happen and what will not. And in His realm of angels, He's gonna allow His angels and His forces to navigate our lives if we do good. So all of the other beings, the gods and the ones who steered away from Him, or who are just out there just like floating in heaven and in the stars creating our universe, may try to do certain things, but He's going to teach them what happens to us and the consequence, and He's not going to allow them to hurt us at the end of the day if we follow Him and we do things. That's why I'm not a dramatic person. I try not to be a dramatic person. I don't really talk much with people. My mind is somewhere very advanced. Sometimes I say I'm like an alien, and I don't know, I just don't really talk with people as much, because I might be on a whole different level of people. So, going back to the subjugation, everyone assumes a certain position. The universe can be like music with all of these different characters. When there's like a savannah, let's say there's a savannah, there's like a Lion King story. All these animals are beautiful because they simulated their certain qualities and they're playing in a circle of life. Same thing goes for when we assimilate into certain fields that we grow up in society. You have race, which organizes in different people go different ways, and so each race is unique and beautiful in its own way. And you have different parts of society, whether you have the doctor, people become lawyers, people become athletes, people become musicians and whatnot, and everyone has to take a role, right? So this is what I call the subjugation. And it all comes in to be a perfect system, like a hospital. The hospital has the nurse and this and that and the other. And making a movie, a certain person plays in certain roles or whatever. But we all come together to make up a certain perfect thing. And that's called the music, and that's called the song right there. So we're all forming songs, and then glory be thy name. They say that we're all here to glorify God and stuff like that, and so we are glorifying God this way. We're all serving our purpose in this way, and we have to look at ourselves in purpose. And this is why I talked about this in my last video. going on with the subjugation. Now everyone's assuming a character, right? And let's say God, the head master, or his angels and other people, or maybe just people. Who knows? I'm not gonna, you know, butcher the fact that there's atheists and it could be, the theories of prophecies could be people too. But I believe in whatever the God theories and stuff like that. I believe it could have been angels and whatnot. So, anyways, going on with what I'm trying to say is that the prophecies are like characters. Like there's characters, and you notice the story, and you're like, okay, where does man go? And you look at the characteristics of mankind and how mankind tries to control everything and whatnot, and you can characterize that as the beast, because at the end of the day, he wants to control people. He's jealous and vindictive, and he's this beast in man ultimately is trying to I can't say that word, trying to compensate for his inferiority, so he tries to become superior and control everybody with money and power and whatnot. And so the beast inside us basically becomes the Antichrist, or gives birth to the Antichrist, who rules the world somehow, whatever. And so then God has to come in and play in his divine destruction. So we can see how this story is true. That's called the subjugation. That's part of the subjugation. That everything falls in line in an organized way, and everyone falls in a certain character. Everyone has to play a certain role. Now the characters can switch up sometimes. At home, you are the hero, but when you go to work, you're this petty guy or whatever, or you're a weakling or whatnot. In society, that's how things work. Where one situation you can be this person, and the next situation you can be that person. In the street you can be this guy, and in the other store you can be that guy. What's going on? That's how it works. So, that's one thing about the subjugation. People's roles can change. Is there anything else that I have to say about the subjugation? We are the stars. We are here. We are who we are. We don't have to subjugate ourselves. That was another thing. It's like we can be free from everything. We don't have to say that we're subjugated. We're not necessarily subjugated. We don't have to be. Different species of animals, different things show different traits that humans kind of have. Like the queen bee, she's the head of all the machos, and when the mates fuck her, they die and explode. The praying mantis kills her husband. I don't know, the horseshoe takes care of his babies. I don't know, weird shit. They seem to show different personalities of us, different traits of us. But those are, like I said, all images of God, all different characteristics. And the way I like science, and I believe in the way that I believe God shows his face through science, is that everything is beautiful to me in science, in such a way that everything shows the face of God. But not only does everything show the face of God, but all the creatures and things that live on earth show the face of us, and we show the face of God. So the same way those different species show the face of us and our characteristics sexually, masculinity, feminine wise, and whatnot, showing the characteristics of humanity. We also show different characteristics of God and his angels and demons and whatnot. They say that I read this book called 13 Petaled Rose. Talks about how good thoughts are angels and bad thoughts are devils and whatnot. Anyways, I'm done with this. So thank you for watching this, and hope you enjoyed it. I've written about it. You can check it out on RiveraBillyWordPress.com. Look for it, called The Subjugation. Peace.